Hello Genshin Squad, it's Abyss time once again, but today I'm doing a challenge you've probably seen other players do, which is getting 36 stars with only 4-star characters and weapons. Honestly, the weapon part was easy because if you look at my 5-star collection, it's heavy fucking copium. With the current moon blessing granting us a lot of resistance shred using our elemental skills, let's just get right into it. My builds are linked in the description in a photo album below, just trying something new. Nothing exciting happened on floors 9 and 10, hence why I used that footage as b-roll for this intro. Since the first half of floor 11 has Geo Shields and the Geo Rift Hounds, I went for a classic double Geo and Pyro comp. Noelle is our main DPS, Ningguang to support, battery, and dish out some good damage herself. Xiangling is the Pyro sub DPS, and Bennett. We know what Bennett's for. This team doesn't have the ability to block off the monolith with Geo constructs, so the plan is to break shields and kill fast. It was better to actually let the smaller enemies group and then Noelle burst after setups. Once we get down to the Geo Lautaro, we don't have to worry about the monolith as long as we keep aggro on ourselves. Only lost 6% integrity here. For the second half, we have the classic taser comp, Beidou, Fischl, Xingqiu, and Sucrose. My plan was to Sucrose ult the middle when the melee enemies were closer and focus on the potion throwers in the meantime. Of course, I missed the first one because of auto-targeting, but the second one was more successful. It's basically a mashing game with Sucrose when Beidou and Xingqiu's bursts are active, shredding enemy resistances, and just letting the electro charge reactions bounce between enemies for easy kills. At the end, because of all the resistance shreds, my Beidou did a 72k counter. I'm so proud of my girl. 11-2 first half is basically a teaser for 12-2 because it's just cryo enemies. The only concern is someone at Mihoyo must have been on crack because they put 3 different leyline effects for the enemies here. Like, are the developers okay? The second half was just a bunch of basic Fatui, easy cleanup, and fuck, wait, no, not this bitch again. I'm thankful this chamber only has to be finished within 5 minutes for 3 stars, or my PTSD from the last Abyss video would have triggered. Alright, 11-3 is where we start being a tryhard gamer. Thankfully, since I'm using Geo against these wolves, I'm able to deal even more damage because of their unique resistance mechanic. Spin to win gaming, baby! It's mainly the big wolves I'm worried about, and I was correct to think so because they're still pretty tanky, and despite being in their frantic state, one of them was just AFK or something because it just wouldn't group with the other one. My HP was hurting badly from the corrosion. This is probably not my proudest run in my career, but with all the resistance shred and leyline buff for Claymore users, I was able to finish this first half by 8-18. The first wave of the second half is only tough just because I have to brute force my way through the Electro Lautaro shield. There's enough resistance shred on this team to compensate for it. Afterwards, it's only 2 Bishops, and we already know how good Electro Charge comps are with waves of 2 enemies. If these were the adult versions, I'd be sweating even more. With floor 11 completed, it's time to take on the real DPS check. Alright, I'm gonna be honest with you, looking at these chambers, each has its own challenges. For 12-1, completing the first half in 2 minutes or less will depend heavily on grouping the Whooper Flowers. So my rotation strategy was Fischl ult to transport and apply Pyro, switch into a Sucrose ult so that it will trap them, then activate Xingqiu and Beidou's ults before switching back to Sucrose to spam normal attacks as before. I was pretty sloppy in the second wave because I was awkwardly waiting for some of my bursts or cooldowns to refresh, but it was still a salvageable run. I repositioned to where the Geo Bishops spawned with Fischl's ult, and then you already know the rotation, although it didn't go 100% to plan because I did a bad job of cornering these guys, and they actually pushed me into the corner at one point. Regardless, I finished at 820, which was okay. I know the second half gives the Ruin enemies a cryo node buff for defense, but Bennett and Xiangling are able to easily remove the buff each time it refreshes, so I can dish out constant melt reactions. I was very unlucky that the Ruin Grader did its football tackle move. I thought I ran to it fast enough to prevent that. A time save tip is luring the first Ruin Guard closer to the other side of the map when it's around half HP so that you don't have to waste stamina running to the other spawn. No problem though, I just set up where it stopped moving and triggered constant melt reactions again. I always feel the nerves against the Ruin Graders because they're definitely beefier, but hey, first try and we 3-starred 12-1. Ooh baby, back-to-back double crit buff cards. Mihoyo's smiling down on me today, let's go! In practice, I noticed the enemies in the first wave will come to me, so I again facial ult towards the stairs before starting my combo like before. Usually I get a cryo infused sucrose ult, which actually helps with triggering freezing reactions and helps deleting the big cryo shield dudes faster. For the second wave, I prioritized the slime because it has a stamina debuff, and I needed to dodge the Lara Churl because it could potentially one-shot me. After that, we finished this chamber off at 8:45, a very solid time. In the second half, we have Mihoyo's favorite Abyss child, Magu Kenki. I will admit that around 8:10, I did a pretty bad misclick and did one more auto than I would have wanted. If Bennett's ult wasn't still active, I probably would have killed Chungyun here. As usual, once he's in the second phase, I position myself so that he will dash away into the wall, which pins him. Apparently my Bennett ult didn't iframe the very end of his attack animation here, or I'm just used to 5-stars having longer animations. I'm also lucky Bennett's ult was still active during this sequence because I probably would have lost a character between the moments of not having iframes. Despite my mess ups, I got the luckiest moment when Magu Kenki dashed back into the wall again. I fully expected him to dash forward and away, but I'll take the gift and I'll take those 3 stars. We are at the final hurdle of this challenge. Not this first half though. I mostly got consistent times of 40 seconds. It could be faster, but I found that one always takes more damage than the other, mainly because I can only auto-target one with normal attacks. These enemies will also constantly get staggered just by breathing on them, so they'll be separated occasionally. Regardless, I got the same time as using my 5 stars, so it's final boss time. The good news is that I have fought this exact boss back when I first 36-starred Abyss, so I have the experience. The bad news, RNG can still fuck me over and he's still ridiculously tanky. Stop dodging my Chungyun ult! The fucking summons keep piling on me! And this goddamn lag! My ping is a lie! It's all a lie!
予想外だぜ。俺は不出来な団長だな。この瞬間、お前は奉仕一門に橋を。
Alright, just cut the video there.
Oh, brother, this stinks!
I need more power.
Yes! Yes!
Here, King, you drop this. There you go.
After a lot of fails in 12-2 to get back here, don't ask. I finished the first half by 9:35, 5 seconds faster than before, and then in the second half, we melted half of his HP by the time his phase change activated. We got the blessing of a Ruin Cruiser, and I was going to trick the AI to dash closer to the boss's main core, but I actually stunned it. So we just set up and bursted down in 18-ish seconds, dashed towards the core, and unleash as much damage as we can during its paralyzed state. With 45 seconds left to delete 25% of his HP, all I had to do was not choke. And thankfully I didn't. Oh my god, could you even imagine if I did after all this? I mean, it's not impossible. With that, Abyss has been conquered, 36 stars, only 4-star characters and weapons. If you made it to this point, consider liking the video as it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more challenge content. Now, I wasn't planning on revealing this till later, but as our little secret, if you want to watch the full uncut footage of my successful runs, there will be a link in the description taking you to the video on the VOD channel that I haven't announced yet. Until then, on to our next video.